I just watched the new Star Wars, and you're like, what new Star Wars? Well, then you've been living in a hole. Yeah, I watched the new Star Wars, and it's weird. I was really surprised about just how excited I got about it. I heard about it, a year before it came out, and I didn't think that much about it, but as time got closer, I was really surprised at just how anxious I got about it. It was like going on a first date again, and it's just weird. I don't know where that came. I don't know where that comes from. It's just an interesting phenomenon. I don't know. And and what's really interesting is just uh, how universal that is. How many people really feel that. And so it was, I don't know, it's just fun to have that, share that with other people. It's just, yeah. Um, by the time uh, I don't even remember watching the first Star Wars movies for the first time. That's how many times, that's how young I was when I first saw them, and that's how many times I've seen them. Uh, Both my parents were really big Star Wars fans, and my dad is just he's like a really big science fiction fan in general, but it's weird because my mom usually doesn't like any science fiction. It's the only science fiction uh, she seems to like is just a few, like Star Wars and the Andromeda Strain, but that's more of like a medical drama than anything, which is weird because it's almost like Star Wars is like it's almost like a science fiction for people who don't like science fiction. But one of the things one of the biggest Star Wars memories I've had is when they released the originals in movie theaters again in the late 90s. And I went with a friend from high school who had actually never never seen Star Wars before, so it was pretty fun, and I remember like the whole time in the movie theater I could just repeat every single line before it was even said in the movie, and it really annoyed the hell out of my friend. He almost hit me because of that. But that's how much I've watched Star Wars, how much it's just been in my life, my whole life. But one thing that's really weird, even though I saw Star Wars a million times before they released it in theaters again in the late 90s, I went with a friend who never saw Star Wars before, and I never noticed the green girl's boob pop out in Return of the Jedi, and he saw it the first time he saw it. So it's weird what you can miss. Well, like a lot of people that like the original Star Wars and grew up with it. Uh, I hate the prequels. I just cannot get into them. And I don't know what it's just weird how universal that is as well. And really it's got to be one of the biggest and weirdest stories in all Hollywood history that that George Lucas could make all these just fantastic, just classic uh, type 1 culture movies and then just have people anticipating them for over a decade, anticipating the sequels to them, well, the prequels really, for over a decade, and then come out with them and just have them that universally uh, just despised. It's just a fantastic phenomenon. One of the, just one of the greatest stories ever. And in fact, I'm always surprised when I actually meet someone who likes the prequels. I'm always surprised when I actually meet someone who actually likes Jar Jar Binks. And it's because they're such a rarity. And I wish that they would get out on the social media more and tell tell their story, because their story is really interesting. Because to like something that's just that reviled by that many people, it's just weird. And I was I don't know, my late teens when the first prequel came out, and I was just really excited. Um, and and I remember when we when I went to the theater, there was there was people in costumes. When the title came up, there were people applauding, and I remember walking out of the theater. Uh, the the people were there were people that were asleep. That's that's how weird it was, that it just didn't deliver in that way. And I'm kind of weird compared to most of the people that don't like the prequels. Most people say that the first one was the worst, and they got slightly better as they went on. I think it was a reverse. I thought I thought they got worse as they went on. The first one kind of held my interest, but maybe that's just because I kept thinking that the other ones were going to be better, and they really weren't. Uh, but what's interesting is when I talk to people, I usually have different reasons for why I don't like the prequels than most other people, and I thought maybe it'd be interesting to go over some of them.